I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. MJ, the GOAT, Michael Jordan said that sports is a game of failure, and guess what? So is service business, and I'm about to give you 5 ways that sports is just like service business and how that helps you. I'm Desi Maynard, founder of Maynard Leadership, where we help competitive, sports-minded, small, service-based entrepreneurs run and grow their teams like a dynasty sports program. And stay to the end of this video where I'm going to give you my championship operations playbook as well as an action plan that you can implement today to start to get things back on track and get you unstuck, unfrustrated, and start winning. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, and you get notified every single time one of my new videos comes on here. Every Tuesday at 5 a.m., I drop a new one adding value to you. Now you're probably wondering, who is this Desi and why should I listen to you? Look, I have been a part of every level of sports in almost 10 different sports, all the way from Pee-wee to professional, and I've spent almost a decade now implementing these exact strategies and concepts and action plans into service-based business for a decade, over 100 different businesses. We've increased the bottom line, adding 6, 7 figures. We've went from stuck and struggling and frustrated to a well-oiled operational machine with happy team members, happy owner-operators. We want that to be you. Let's dig in. Service business is just like sports. We're about to give you 5 ways that they are exactly the same and how it helps you and how you can use it. Let's dig in right now. So, number 1 is culture. Culture is the bedrock. It is the foundation of everything. Culture is key. Now, what is culture? Well, it is basically the macro expectation that you are setting for your company and for your team. What you want to do with this, okay, is you want to develop a mission, okay, and core values. At the very least, mission and core values. Your mission is your overall purpose, why you exist, something that you can get your team to buy into. Here's an example of that, okay? When we're looking at sports, it's the same exact thing. You have to dig into the culture. You have to set the culture. You, as the owner and operator, are the most potent example, okay, the tip of the sword of the culture that you want. You are the culture that you are developing, and it tiers down from there. So if you're the most potent example and it cascades down, right? If you have 3, 4 levels in your company, in your business, okay, it's going to get less and less. It's going to be diluted as it goes down the level, as it goes down from you. So you have to be the most potent example of that culture when it comes to your mission. Why do we exist? What is the purpose of your company? And it's not just to make profit, and it's not just to serve people. Like, those are an absolute given. We have to do that in order to win, in order to stay in the business. But why do you exist? Like, just like me, I exist to believe in and challenge people, to help owner operators, to create winning people and winning teams and winning businesses, to make America stronger because of the small business space. That's what I'm all about. I want to make stronger people, stronger families, and stronger communities. That is something my team can get behind. We are all about it. Now, the core values that you go within your culture, okay, you want 3 to 5 of them, okay, 3 to 5 core values. And these, what these are, like macro scale expectations of behavior, essentially, okay? Now, what you're looking at here when it comes to core values is you want to give them, like, this is a way to make decisions. So what are the things that you value? So here's an example of mine. We like radical or sincere candor is what we call it. Like, we tell the truth. We give honest feedback because it helps. Look, if you got a booger in your nose, we're going to tell you, hey, you got a booger in your nose, or you got lettuce in your teeth. Let's get it out. Or, hey, you're not doing it today, so let's get going. Okay, that's sincere candor, and that's what we believe. So that's how we operate. Other ones are speed is king. Be prepared. Like, it doesn't really matter what they are, but they have to be you. You have to be the most potent example of them. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you value the most? Okay, think of this as a decision-making filter in order to see how we operate. Okay, this is going to make employee engagement, employee retainment, employee satisfaction, all of those things, but it cascades down. You're the most potent example. It will dilute from there. That's number 1, culture. Just like sports, is just like service-based business. It is exactly the same. Culture is the most important piece. It is the bedrock. It is the foundation. And it has to be a part of all these other steps. So once we have culture in place, what's next? Well, I can tell you what's next, and that is strategy. Strategy is number 2. Now, when we look at strategy, there's a couple of different things. Strategy is a big one, right? We got to have some game plans. So there's 2 types of game plans. I was a football guy. I played Division I college football. You have an offensive game plan, which in this case would be a growth game plan. That's another way that sports is like service-based business. You have to have a strategy. Okay, just like you have an offensive game plan, that's growth, how to get more customers. You have to have a defensive game plan, which is fulfillment. How do we fulfill customers and clients? You got to have each of those things. Once you have your game plans, you have to have playbooks. Okay, there's an offensive playbook, there's a defensive playbook. Okay, so you might have lots of those. Examples of playbooks are going to be any SOPs, any checklists, anything in that nature that is like specific instructions. Okay, so these are like the specific instructions for how to do the things, right? The hard skills, essentially. And when you circle back to culture, this is soft skills. Okay, when you're looking at strategy, a lot of talking, a lot of hard skills, a lot of overall game plans and playbooks that it's going to take to win. Other things within strategies, you got to make sure you got the right people in the right seats. Okay, you're looking at like the American Revolutionary boat. You got George Washington pointing the way. Okay, you've got some people holding up the flag, cheering it on. You got some people actually rowing the boat to get things done. And then you got 1 or 2 people actually steering the boat to make sure we're heading in the right direction. It takes all 4 of those types of people to get in the boat, to be doing their thing and working as a team to move in the right direction. If the guy pointing forward is supposed to be rowing, he's not doing it, we're not going to go anywhere, okay? So you got to make sure you got the right people in the right seats, and you have to recruit. So there's got to be a recruiting strategy within your business, just like there is in college football and college sports in general. A recruiting strategy is key. 2 types of recruiting. You're recruiting fans, customers, clients. You've got to have a marketing and a sales process in order to get that done. And you also need to be recruiting talent. And you need to always be recruiting talent. Just because you're recruiting doesn't mean you're interviewing and hiring. Just because you're interviewing doesn't mean you're hiring. When it comes to recruiting, you can recruit 2 different types of people. The first one is what do we just call awesome human recruiting. You're looking for just amazing humans that will add a ton of value, that are in alignment with your culture, with your mission, and with your values. That's awesome human. Okay, the second type is a specific role. You're looking to fill a specific role like a customer service rep, a chief operational officer, or whatever that specific role may be that fits those hard skills as well as the soft skills. That's a specific role. 2 types of recruiting. You're always doing recruiting, and you never stop recruiting. You're always looking for awesome people. If you get a good one, you can always figure out how to get rid of your worst one. You're only as strong as your weakest link, just like a sports team. Now we have strategy done. We have culture, number 1, most important. Next piece is strategy. You have to make sure the culture is a part of your strategy. Number 3 is execute. You have to start. And more importantly, get your team to start, because you are the coach of this team. You have to get your team to execute. In order to do this, we have to figure out how to install and implement the strategies, the game plans, and the playbooks that we developed here into our everyday operations. You have to actually be the one to make sure they run the play on the field. That is what the coach does, to make sure you do it well, make sure you do it right, and then you can practice and make all kinds of changes in the meantime. That's how to make sure that you execute. This is leadership. This is where all your leadership falls in. This is on you. This is absolute accountability, right? This is building teamwork. This is using the KISS method and all of the other 8 laws, which we'll do a whole nother video on and give you everything that you need right there. So be on the lookout for that. Other piece of execution is communication. Communication cycles, communication platforms, over-communicate. You can never communicate too much. There's no such of a thing. You have to communicate. You have to have the right meetings with the right people at the right times for the right length, so it's not death by meeting, because that's absolutely brutal. Culture, strategy, execution. And guess what? Within execution, you have culture as a part of that execution. All right? I know this looks clear as mud, but stick with me. I'm a football guy. I talk X's and O's. We got culture. We got strategy. We got execution. Number 4 is the scoreboard or evaluation. Okay, evaluate. Within evaluate, now you're watching the game film, right? Every great sports team always reviews, evaluates, watches the game film of what just happened, either whether it be practice or a game. We watched every single snap of every single rep I ever took, all in practice and all in a game. You have to evaluate how you're doing, how your team's doing, how your business is doing as a whole. What are you evaluating? Well, you're evaluating how well you guys are executing the everyday operations. You're evaluating your overall strategies and game plans and playbooks. Are they effective? Are they working? Do we need to tweak them? You're always evaluating your culture. Okay, this can come in the form of employee feedback forms, employee satisfaction forms, self-assessments, all great ways to evaluate. Other ways are having a scoreboard. Do you have an ownership kind of dashboard of anywhere from like 3 to 7 numbers that you're always looking at, right? Like revenue per head count. You need to know if you're winning or not. So you need to define what is winning here. What are the numbers that would show that we're winning? Okay, there's lots of different ways to do that. We'll dig into all that in another video. But you need to be evaluating what you're doing. You need to be looking at what problems you have, make a list, and then you develop a solution, a system to solve problems. And then, what is the constraint of the business? Looking at the problems, we're looking at the constraint. Are you the bottleneck? If you are the bottleneck, you need to exploit the bottleneck and you need to start making progress towards blowing that bottleneck up. Or is it a physical bottleneck? Make sure that you're focused on the right things in your business that are holding things up. Is there anywhere in your business that has to bottle? Is it always like, hey, I don't know, call Desi. Hey, I don't know, ask Desi. Hey, I don't know, Desi's got to approve that. That's a bottleneck. Maybe that's you. If you're a small service-based business, entrepreneur, owner, operator, you're probably the biggest bottleneck of your business. This is how you start to blow that up. Okay, you have to do culture, strategy, and execution well in order to start evaluating things and decreasing you as the constraint of the business, as the bottleneck of the business. That's number 4, evaluate. Now that we have number 1, culture down pat, we've set our culture, we've developed all of our strategy, our game plans, and our playbooks. We started to execute these things, install them, and implement them in the everyday operations. And now we're evaluating everything in our business on a regular basis, 30, 60, 90 days, once a quarter, as long as it's regular and we're evaluating. I've done it all the way up to weekly. Now we have the last of one of the most important things, which is number 5, improve. Okay, we have to improve everything that we're doing. All right, we've looked at 1 through 4. Now comes number 5, improve. Okay, and culture has been a part of each and every single one of these. So what do we do to improve? Well, the biggest, most important thing that 90% of you are missing. Okay, I've talked to over 100 different service-based business owners, and only like 10% of them had this in place, and that was the training, the internal training curriculum, their internal training cycle, the regularity of internal training. Let me give you, here's the secret on this. The best ongoing training happens 1-to-1, happens 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and it's a regular rhythm. Okay, it could be once a week, could be once a month. The best was at least twice a month for 15 to 20 minutes. That's not a lot, guys. 1-to-1, 15 to 20 minutes, at least every other week, and keep going. Okay, that is a normal rhythm, and pick one specific hard skill or one specific soft skill, have them self-assess, and then you assess, and then collaborate on the compare and contrast of that, and focus on one thing and train them on one specific thing. That will dramatically increase your improvement rate. It will make you better and better and better. You need to invest into the top appreciating asset in your business, which is your team. If you have any like machinery or anything like that, that all is going down in value. The longer your employees are there, the better they get, the more valuable they are to you. So you need to invest your time, your training, even some of your money into your team to make them more valuable and happier, because happy team members do better work. Happy athletes who are having fun play better. That is what you want for your team. So other things for the improved step here are the carrot and the stick. You always use praise over punishment, and attaboy is better than a tongue licking. When it comes to sports, same thing when it comes to business and with the team and with employee engagement and retainment. Praise over punishment. You have to reinforce the correct behaviors that you want in your team. The last piece of improvement here is that you need to make sure you're sustaining everything that you've already put in place and that you're getting better and better at all of this over and over again. This never stops. Just like I promised you, here is the championship operations framework. So you see, just like we talked the 5 ways sports are like service-based business, here it is in an infographic so that you can absolutely understand it. Okay, number 1, bedrock. Just like we talked about, we dug into culture, go back, rewind, dive into all of that. Culture's right in the middle. Culture never stops, and it has to be a part of all of the other steps right here. After culture, you have strategy. Okay, that's the big one. That's the game plans, the playbooks. Those are all the things. After strategy, okay, you got to go to execute. You got to execute the strategy that you put in place. This is how you get it into your everyday operations. This is how you cascade everything down from you, the owner or the operator, all the way down to your frontline employees. Once you're executing, you got to evaluate. Are you winning? What does winning look like? What is it going to take to win? What are your numbers? Okay, what's your scoreboard? What problems are you having? What are the constraints of your business? That's how you evaluate. Now, after evaluate, you have improve. You have to do training with your people. You have to invest time into your most appreciating asset, which is your team, to make sure to do that. Now that you're improving, you always go right back into strategy and culture and execute and evaluate. It never stops. It is a cycle that you're never pouring concrete on this, okay? It's always functional. It's always working. It's always fluid, which is why it never stops. Like MJ said, I've failed over and over in my life, and that is why the GOAT succeeded. That is why MJ is the greatest basketball player to ever play, and that's why we're learning from him right here. Look, you're going to fail. It's fine. Fail forward, make a mistake, do it again. Keep working this cycle, and you will create a winning team and a winning business with great team members, with happy team members, a bigger bottom line, and you'll get freedom of time, freedom of money, and be able to do everything you ever dreamed of and change your legacy and make a bigger impact than before. And this is exactly how you do it. Hey, go ahead and type sports in the comments right now. If you're with me on sports is just like service-based business, maybe you're a diehard athlete, maybe you're a diehard sports fan, maybe you're still competing like I try to kind of dabble sometimes in CrossFit a little bit, but I'm working on it and I'm getting better. I wish I could go back in the old gridiron again. But go ahead, type sports in the comments and join me in believing that sports is just like service-based business. Hey, maybe you're watching this, you're like, Desi, I'm all in, man. This is great. I need help with this. Go ahead, book in a call with us. We'll walk you through all of these steps. We'll figure out how it applies exactly to your situation and your team to help you grow your business. And we'll see how we can help you and what we can offer you there. And make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment in here. Go ahead and hit that bell. Make sure you're subscribed if I didn't already say that already, just so you can get every single one of these videos. Guys, I'm giving away all this crazy stuff for free. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I want to help you. I want to help your teams. I want to help you win because I love you. I love small business. I believe in you, and I'm ready to challenge you. I am here to serve you better. All right, here's the action plan that I promised you right at the very end. So we started with culture. Culture is just like sports and just like service-based business. It's the same thing. It's the bedrock. Here's your action plan. I want to make sure you have a mission, okay? That is the purpose of your business. Pull that out, write it back up on the whiteboard, make sure that it's solid, pull your team members in, ask them if they believe in it, make sure that that is super solid. It's like one good sentence with like a 2 or 3 sentence kind of explanation. That's what you want to dive in there. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is your values. I want you to get so solid, super solid on 3 to 5 core values, okay? Decision-making filters, things that the way that you want people to behave and operate within your business. Give me it's like no more than a 3-word phrase and then like a 1-sentence explanation on those, okay? That is your mission. That is your values. That's your action plan. It's going to help you start winning and strengthening your culture today.